Hello friends, welcome to my channel. So the earnings season has already started, so our main focus will be on the earnings season. But there is also a news called crypto could cause 2008 level meltdown and Bank of England official warns. So this we will cover it later on. Now let's go to the press release which we'll talk about. So uh, here we are. So stock futures are flat after S&P has best day since March on strong earnings. Now this is very much clear that you know uh, the banks more specifically, and I have talked about this a couple of months back that banks are the one who is going to be benefited out of it when you're talking about very low interest rate, and they have the authority as well as the tools with which they can manage the flow of money. So they have the upper hand, and it's been very much visible on the stock exchanges or on the financial market, or how their numbers impacting the entire financial market, more specifically DJI, Nasdaq, and S&P. Because whether you're talking about JP Morgan or Morgan Stanley, everybody is coming up with superb results. And yep, this one. So S&P jumps the most since March, powered by better than expected earnings. And as you can see, the US stocks rallied Thursday after better than expected earnings report from Walgreens Boot Alliance, United Health, Bank of America, and major other companies. And these are the numbers. So the S&P rose 1.7% to 4,438. Then you have DJI, the Dow Jones moved up by 530 points, and which is 1.6%, and the Nasdaq moved up by 1.7% and reached or closed at a level which is 14,823. So uh, most of them are in consolidation, but anyhow the moves are quite swift, and it is quite visible that they are making some very sharp moves with better than expected earnings. And third quarter earnings season ramped up Thursday with several banks and down members reporting financial results before the bell. And eight members of the S&P 500 reported earnings this morning, and all eight beat earnings per share expectation from Wall Street. So this is a good number. This is indeed a good number, and rest is about how they have performed, which stocks they have performed. But my focus is on banks. So like Bank of America, Morgan Stanley, and Citigroup saw their shares rises 4.5%, 2.5%, and 0.8% respectively after beating earnings expectations. So majority of them moved very significantly, and meanwhile falling rates boosted technology stocks. So because what has happened yesterday, suddenly there has been a 2 to 4% fall that we have seen. If you are looking at the bond index or bond yields, whether talking about 2 year, 10 year, or 30 years, so they have all declined. So declining bond yield will be beneficial for the Nasdaq based stocks. So this is what you can see over here. Now apart from that, let's see if we have anything which we can talk about. Okay, so which we can talk about. Then if it is not, then so GitLab. So this is a new debut. Just if you are interested, you can look at this stock of GitLab, which jumped by 35%. Not by a big margin, because we have seen 35% is just a peanut. We have seen numbers, or we have seen, you know, the stock prices doubled in a single trading session. So anyhow, and so and this kind of news now, I mean, how to create positive sentiments. This is one of those news that FDA panel unanimously recommends Moderna COVID booster shots for at-risk adults. So, you will see very sharp or very fast approvals for this kind of vaccines, because we want our people to go out and do something, do activity, do which will create money, or which will make the money move from one place to another. That's very important, because the kind of situation we are into and the kind of facilities the citizens are getting now, companies are finding it very hard to get them back to the work. This is a very big problem that has emerged. Now, this is one of the important news that we have to read. So, crypto could cause 2008 level meltdown, Bank of America official warns. Now, let's see. So, the Bank of America's Deputy Governor for Financial Stability has warned that cryptocurrencies could spark a global financial crisis unless tough regulations are introduced. In a speech Wednesday, Cunliffe likened the rate of growth of crypto asset market from $16 billion 5 years ago to $2.5 trillion today to the 1.2 trillion subprime mortgage market in 2008. So he's directly comparing that, and the subprime mortgage market was 1.2 trillion and compared to the current valuation of cryptocurrencies, which is 2.3 trillion. So it is nearly double, around double. And when something in the financial system is growing very fast and growing in largely unregulated space, financial stability authorities have to set it up and take a notice of it. Now, however, he contended that although financial stability risks remain limited for now, the current applications of crypto assets pose a financial stability concern, since the majority have no intrinsic value and vulnerable to major price correction. So there are some lines. I don't want to go into the entire press release, but there are some lines I could relate with. But if you are talking about the kind of correction which it could cause, okay, fine, it will probably happen. I'm agreed with that. But uh, you are talking about $2.3 trillion of assets, and when government is pumping 20 trillion or $26 trillion worth of liquidity across the globe. So if you are comparing that liquidity with the current valuation, so it is just one tenth of the liquidity that the central bank has imposed. So how it is going to impact, and obviously if there is a meltdown, we will definitely have some big price corrections going forward. But the thing is, understand this, you won't get a correction until and unless everybody feels happy, everybody feels satisfied, or at least most of them are satisfied with the stock market. So if this is a scenario, then it is fine. Then this press release definitely suits. But if this is not, then we have more time to go for the time being. Okay, so that's the thing. These are the things that we need to look at, and obviously, when a person who is such a post and he has lots of knowledge, information, and data, so we can't ignore this kind of press releases. Obviously, we have to keep these things in in our mind, at least just as a memory, so that whenever we find a scenario which we can relate this press release with, we can quickly adjust or manage ourselves. Okay, but for the time being, this is not the thing which we are looking into as a big risk, because everything looks risky right now. So this is what we have for the time being as far as the press release is concerned. Now let's go to the chart section and let's see what's happening over there. Now today's chart is related to a stock which has performed in the past and which is now performing right now, and the name of the stock is Vinco Ventures. Now Vinco Ventures is the stock which has indeed made some big moves in the past, and now it is again started moving on the upside. So if you are observing the trend, it will look something like this. So let me draw all the important support and resistance level for the time being that the stock has seen. So what we have here is 4.81 as your immediate support, and you have a 4.25. These are your two important support, because below which you will have your next support at 1.35. So there are two support levels below 4.25. You have 2.18 and you have 1.35. So that's why better not to go below these levels. And on the upside, the recent high that the stock has made, and probably it is moving back toward the high. So here we are. So the high is, if it continues to sustain above 4.8, we have 9.55 and we have 11.79. But if you are looking at the overall chart, it looks like that something is not completed yet. So if you are looking or measuring the length of this trend or the current range, it was 600%. But the stock did not move 600% before we can say, okay, it is actually crossed its level. So it is yet to be seen, and the big target beyond 11 or $12 that we're going to look at in the upcoming weeks and days or weeks probably is going to be $65. So this is what we are looking at as far as the big trend is concerned. So as far as the Vinco Ventures are concerned, go with the levels as explained, because there are some resistance and there are some levels on which or above which you need to trail your stop loss, and the kind of momentum the stock has, probably it is indicating much higher levels going forward. So this is the end of the video. Thanks for watching.